In the latest spoilers for The Young and the Restless, January 17th, 2025, Claire finds herself facing a dire ultimatum from Jordan, who coldly threatens her and everyone she cares about. Jordan warns Claire that if she stays in Genoa City, her loved ones, including Kyle, Victoria, and the Newman family, will pay the price. Despite Claire's attempts to convince Jordan that she'll leave to protect them, the ruthless woman demands Claire prove her loyalty by walking away entirely. As Claire wrestles with the decision, she becomes increasingly anxious about the safety of Sharon, whom Jordan has kept hidden. With time running out, Claire seeks help from the Newman family, hoping to find a way to stop Jordan and protect the people she loves. Back at the Newman ranch, Claire confides in Victoria and Adam, explaining that Jordan is threatening her and keeping Sharon captive. Victoria and Adam are resolute in helping Claire, but they need evidence to take action. As Claire struggles to gather more information, her relationship with the Newman family strengthens. Meanwhile, Adam and Chelsea are working on rebuilding their fractured relationship for the sake of their son, Connor. Chelsea encourages Adam to focus on their future together, providing a rare moment of stability for him in the midst of all the chaos. Despite the uncertainty, Claire is determined to find Sharon and stop Jordan's reign of terror, even if it means putting herself in danger. Desperate for answers, Claire meets Jordan in a secluded cafe, hoping to strike a deal by offering to leave Genoa City in exchange for information on Sharon's whereabouts. While Jordan initially sees through Claire's attempt, she confirms that Sharon is alive and hidden somewhere far from anyone who could find her. Armed with this knowledge, Claire shares the information with the Newman family, and they begin to strategize how to pressure Jordan into revealing more. As they dig into Jordan's associates and movements, time becomes increasingly critical. Claire knows Jordan's paranoia is escalating, and the Newmans must act quickly before Jordan makes another move that could endanger Sharon or anyone else. Meanwhile, personal relationships also evolve. Billy Abbott finds himself caught between Phyllis and Sally, both of whom have set their sights on him. Their rivalry grows more intense, but Billy and Sally begin to consider the idea of marriage, seeking stability and unity despite their tumultuous past. Phyllis, on the other hand, begins to question her obsession with Billy, realizing that her pursuit of him has clouded her judgment. As the drama unfolds, Claire's secret struggles continue, and her mother, Victoria, begins to notice that something is wrong. Claire's refusal to confide in her only deepens Victoria's concern, but Claire remains determined to protect her family from the danger posed by Jordan, all while trying to manage her personal battles. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Summer sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her reflection in the mirror. Her thoughts were a tangled web of emotions, her heart pulled in two opposing directions. Kyle, her first love, still held a piece of her soul. The history they shared, the passion, the heartbreak, was etched deeply into her being. She longed for the version of Kyle who had once loved her unconditionally, but she couldn't ignore how their relationship had become a battlefield of jealousy and unmet expectations. And then there was Chance. With him, everything felt different. When she was with Chance, she felt valued, respected, and truly seen. There was no competition, no lingering doubts, just a quiet, steady affection that warmed her heart. But could she truly be happy with him, or was she seeking refuge from the chaos that came with Kyle? Summer closed her eyes, trying to silence the questions that threatened to overwhelm her. Claire's dangerous game. Meanwhile, Claire was walking a razor's edge. Jordan, her one-time ally turned adversary, now held her at gunpoint. The cold steel of the weapon and the fire in Jordan's eyes made Claire's every word and movement critical. "Jordan," Claire said, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her insides, "I made a mistake. I never should have doubted you. You're right, we're stronger together. Let's put this behind us and move forward. Jordan's eyes narrowed as she studied Claire, suspicion flickering in her gaze. You think I'm stupid, don't you? That I just let you back in after what you've done. Claire shook her head, forcing sincerity into her voice. I don't think you're stupid, Jordan. I think you're smart enough to know that we need each other. We've always been stronger as a team. The words seemed to land, and Jordan's grip on the gun loosened slightly. But Claire wasn't done. She had carefully set a trap, and all she needed was for Jordan to take the bait. Victor's pursuit. At the same time, Victor Newman was orchestrating his own plans. He had never trusted Claire completely, and now, with Jordan and Ian Ward's schemes unraveling, he was determined to ensure the safety of his family. Michael, Victor said, his tone commanding as always, I want you to follow Cole. Keep an eye on him. We've overlooked too much already. Michael Baldwin nodded, though he harbored doubts. Victor, Cole's been keeping his distance from Jordan. Are you sure he's still a threat? Victor's piercing gaze left no room for argument. I'm not interested in your doubts, Michael. Just do as I say. Jordan falls into the trap. Back in the standoff, Jordan's guard began to drop. Claire's careful manipulation had worked. The older woman was beginning to believe in Claire's supposed loyalty. As Jordan lowered her gun, Claire seized the opportunity. With a quick movement, she grabbed a nearby vase and smashed it against Jordan's wrist, sending the gun clattering to the floor. Jordan let out a cry of pain, clutching her injured hand. Claire didn't waste a second. She grabbed the gun and aimed it at Jordan, her hands shaking but her resolve unyielding. Enough, Jordan, Claire said, her voice trembling with both fear and determination. This ends now. Jordan's expression shifted from pain to fury. You little traitor, she spat. You think you've won? This isn't over. It is for me, Claire replied, stepping back toward the door. And soon, it'll be over for you too. As chaos unfolded around them, Summer found herself at another crossroads. She met Chance for dinner, hoping the evening would bring clarity to her conflicted heart. Sitting across from him, she felt the steady comfort of his presence, the warmth in his smile. But as much as she appreciated Chance, a small voice in the back of her mind kept whispering Kyle's name. Chance, she said softly, her voice tinged with uncertainty. You've been so good to me. I don't deserve someone like you. Chance reached across the table, taking her hand in his. Summer, you deserve to be happy. And if you're not sure that's with me, I understand. Just don't settle. Not for me, not for anyone. His words hit her harder than she expected. They were a reminder that she needed to make a choice, not just for herself, but for everyone involved. The question was, would she choose the stability Chance offered, or would she risk it all for the fiery connection she still felt with Kyle? The world of Genoa City is reeling as fans of the young and the restless grapple with the possibility of losing one of its most beloved characters, Nikki Newman. The latest developments in the storyline have left viewers on edge, questioning whether this marks the end for the resilient matriarch. The return of Ian Ward and Nikki's emotional struggles. The return of Ian Ward has unleashed a storm of emotions for Nikki, forcing her to confront long-buried traumas and unsettling memories. Ian, a dark figure from her past, has brought with him a cascade of chaos that threatens to unravel Nikki's hard-won stability. Claire's troubling revelation. Adding to the tension is Claire, who has had unsettling encounters with her recently released aunt, Jordan. Claire's revelations to Nikki and Victoria about Jordan's return have ignited a chain reaction, further destabilizing Nikki's mental health. The news has plunged her into a whirlwind of anxiety, reigniting old fears and insecurities. A battle against relapse. Nikki's struggles with sobriety are well documented, and the current events are testing her resolve like never before. The video hints at the possibility of Nikki relapsing into alcohol abuse, a haunting echo of her previous battles. This relapse, if it occurs, could have far-reaching consequences, not just for Nikki, but for those around her. The stakes for Chancellor Industries. Victor Newman, always watchful, has begun to notice changes in Nikki's behavior. His suspicions add another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. If Nikki succumbs to her temptations, the stability of Chancellor Industries could be at risk. As a cornerstone of Genoa City's economy, any disruption at the company would send shockwaves through the community. A devastating outcome. The ominous undertones of the storyline suggest that Nikki's fate hangs by a thread. Whether she succumbs to her inner demons or finds a way to rise above them remains to be seen. Fans are left with bated breath, wondering if the show will deliver one of its most heart-wrenching moments yet. A legacy at risk. Nikki Newman has been a pillar of the young and the restless for decades, embodying resilience and grace in the face of adversity. Her potential departure from the show would mark a profound loss, not only for the characters of Genoa City, but for the millions of viewers who have followed her journey. As the storyline unfolds, one thing is certain: Nikki's journey is far from over. Whether this marks the end of her chapter or the beginning of a new one, fans are in for a roller coaster of emotions. Stay tuned as the drama continues to unravel on The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, January 15 tease that Billy Abbott does something stunning and remarkable. Does it have to do with a choice he made previously? Billy and Sally Spectra are off to Paris, so he may choose to table his revenge plan for Victor Newman, for now. If so, Phyllis Summers will not be happy, and an unhappy Phyllis is a dangerous proposition. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Billy changes his mind. Elsewhere, Adam Newman has a convo with Chelsea Lawson and comes away stunned. On the Monday, January 13, 2025 episode, the couple discuss the possibility of moving in together at the ranch house. At that time, Chelsea was non-committal, but it looks like she's changed her mind. Spoiler alert: Victoria Newman thinks this is a great idea. Nonetheless, Chelsea wants ground rules because this is not her trying to get back together with Adam romantically. Yeah, got that. My and our spoilers. Chatham reunited? Chatham are doing what their son Connor Newman wants. But is that the best idea? Adam would be delighted to have his family reunited in every sense of the word, and we'll have to see how that goes. Meanwhile, in Chancellor Park, Claire Newman and Jordan have an explosive confrontation. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire and Jordan tangle. Claire is furious and scared all at the same time. Will Jordan suggest they forgive and forget the past? Jordan thinks that Claire is wrong to side with the Newmans, but Claire makes it clear that she's not abandoning them. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan on the loose. Claire tries to call the cops, and we predict that Jordan makes a run for it. She has made her presence known. That will have to be enough for now. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Claire tells her mom and grandma, Victoria and Nikki Newman, all about the sick meeting, and we have a hunch that Victor is not going to like it one bit. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Willie and R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates, and make us your favorite hotspot. The park was tranquil, with the sun casting long shadows and the gentle rustle of leaves filling the air, but Jordan's unease was palpable. Standing near the edge, she anxiously awaited Claire's arrival. She had reluctantly agreed to this meeting, fearing it might be a setup with the police swooping in to end everything. Her heart raced as Claire appeared alone, just as promised. With deliberate steps, Claire approached, her expression a mix of resolve and vulnerability. "I'm here because I believe in you, Jordan," Claire began, her tone soft yet insistent. Her words struck a chord, breaking through the walls Jordan had built over the years. "We're family, and life's too short to be enemies." Claire's sincerity caught Jordan off guard, her guard momentarily dropping. Claire pressed on, reminding Jordan of their shared bond and secrets that had been carefully guarded. For a fleeting moment, it seemed reconciliation was within reach. Before they could delve further, a shadow loomed over them. Cole emerged, his presence unsettling the already fragile atmosphere. "We shouldn't be meeting like this," he muttered, his eyes scanning their surroundings. "If anyone sees us together, it'll raise questions we can't afford to answer." His words brought tension back to the surface. The trio's public gathering was a recipe for disaster, and they all knew it. As Claire voiced her frustration, yearning for a simple conversation without fear, Jordan spotted movement in the distance. Her sharp gaze landed on Nick, half hidden behind a cluster of trees. He was watching them, his expression unreadable. Jordan's heart sank, realizing the danger. She didn't know how much Nick had seen, but his presence threatened to unravel everything. Nick, meanwhile, was frozen. He hadn't heard their conversation, but the sight of Claire and Cole together confirmed his suspicions. They were keeping secrets, and those secrets could devastate Victoria. Torn between confronting them and retreating, Nick chose the latter, slipping away silently to plan his next move. He was determined to expose the truth, but knew he needed to tread carefully. Back at the park, Jordan, Claire, and Cole grappled with the gravity of the situation. "We need to leave," Jordan said firmly, breaking the tense silence. "Being seen together is too risky." Claire protested, her desperation clear. "What about fixing things? Trying to be better for each other?" Jordan hesitated but stood her ground. "Not here, not now," she said, her voice heavy with resignation. As they parted ways, each carried the weight of their secrets and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Claire couldn't shake the feeling that her carefully constructed life was beginning to crumble. She wasn't Victoria's daughter, a truth that could destroy everything if revealed. Jordan, too, was on edge, her simmering rage and mistrust barely concealed, and Nick, determined to protect Victoria, was preparing to strike. The following days were a whirlwind of tension and deception. Claire and Cole tried to maintain their facade of loyalty to Jordan, playing along with her plans for a fresh start. But Jordan's erratic behavior and sharp intuition made every moment a dangerous gamble. The closer they got to her, the more volatile she became, and the more Claire's secret loomed like a ticking time bomb. In a chilling turn, Jordan confronted Claire one evening. "There's something that doesn't add up," she said, her piercing gaze locking onto Claire. "You're so much like Victoria, yet not. It's almost like you're not her daughter at all." The room fell silent, the air thick with tension. Claire managed to keep her composure, her voice calm despite the panic rising within her. "What are you saying?" she asked. Jordan's lips curled into a faint smile. "Nothing," she replied, her tone laced with suspicion, but Claire knew better. Jordan wasn't finished, and the stakes were higher than ever. As Nick pieced together the truth and prepared to expose the betrayal, Jordan, Claire, and Cole continued their dangerous game of secrets and lies. The question wasn't if the truth would come out, but when, and who would be left standing when it did. Firefighters are still battling the Los Angeles wildfires. Their tireless efforts haven't been overlooked. The young and the restless star Eric Braeden lost his home in the Palisades fire. He also confirmed that his co-star, Amelia Heinel, is grieving the loss of her home. Braeden interacts with Y&R fans on Bluesky. The Y&R veteran deactivated his Twitter account and posted the announcement on his Instagram page. Braeden interacted with fans on Bluesky and talked about the devastating loss amid the wildfires in California. Still, Braeden was grateful to have his daughter home for Christmas before their family home burned down. "Maybe it was the last time, but it was wonderful. We have the intention to rebuild. When I first saw 45 years of building a life turn to ash and smoldering beams, I almost buckled," he exclaimed. Hundreds of fans and friends shared their support and condolences. One friend wanted to know the status of Amelia Heinel's home. "I'm not surprised you want to rebuild, Eric. I'd love to have a chat once things have settled a bit. My best to Dale and your wonderful family. I haven't heard if Amelia's home was spared." Please let me know and send her my regards, Larry Hoffman wrote. No, she lost her home as well. The extent of this disaster is unimaginable. Braden responded. Heinel hasn't shared this news with her followers on social media. Her co-star was the first to confirm it. The latest update. As of Tuesday night, millions of Southern Californians were at risk of losing everything to the wildfires. Once again, the weather forecast predicted high winds for much of the week. Per the Associated Press, dangerous winds and dry conditions are expected on Wednesday. Both the Palisades and Eaton fires have killed 25 residents. In addition, thousands have lost their homes. Red flag warnings have been issued for much of Southern California, and there have been widespread power outages. Our thoughts are with those impacted by the wildfires. Claire arrives at the ranch and apologizes for keeping Victoria and Nikki waiting. They notice she's shaking, and Nikki asks if this is about Ian Ward. Claire says it's not, but it's just as bad. She tells them they have to agree to keep this between them before she explains. They agree, and Claire says Jordan has escaped prison. She's there in Genoa City, and she just spoke to her face-to-face. Nikki has to tell Victor. Claire tells her she can't. Victoria says they'll wait, and Nikki apologizes. Claire tells them Jordan is bitter and didn't give specifics on how she got out or how long she's been in town. She's still out there, and she won't go away unless she gets what she wants. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis tells Daniel the day is full of possibilities. Billy walks in, and the redhead urges him to sit down. She was just telling Daniel about them being a united front, and that they'll do everything possible to keep the Newmans' grubby paws off of Chancellor. When they do, Daniel will get a corner office. Billy asks if Daniel's picked out his chair yet, or if he's running the other direction. Daniel thinks it's gutsy to take on Victor and his bottomless resources. Remind me how many times you've beat him in the past. But the two of you think you can pull it off now. Billy's fine with Daniel questioning him. Assuming he's going to fail is practically a national pastime at this point. But when his mother puts her mind to something, she can pull off almost anything. Phyllis feels seen. Daniel is pleased her mother refocused her energy and is looking to the future. But he suggests she take that energy and focus and put it towards something brand new and not owned by Victor Newman. Phyllis says this is about justice and showing Victor he doesn't own the universe. Billy's going to solve this problem, and his mother will help him do it. Daniel reminds them people who go against Victor lose. He doesn't want his mother in this war. Billy guesses Daniel is saying he will drag them both down. Victor meets Nick at Society. His son complains that his team is great, but they've got nothing on Sharon. Victor asks what Ian had to say. Nick says he spewed meaningless garbage. He warned him if he hurts Sharon or anyone else in the family, there will be hell to pay. Nick can't shake the feeling he's not working alone. Victor muses that someone else could be responsible for tainting the meds, Heather's death, and Sharon's disappearance. Nick says, exactly. If they find that person, they can follow them to Sharon. At Crimson Lights, Billy asks if Daniel thinks their mission is doomed because of him. Daniel can't say, but it's his fight, not Phyllis. Billy says his mother is indispensable and will be rewarded. Daniel points out, if you win, he thinks his mom should put her energy into something reasonable. Phyllis says they can do this. Daniel reminds her Billy iced her out once before. Billy says he's right, but that's when Jill gave him an ultimatum. He thought he could trust his mother, but in the end he lost it all. Daniel doesn't see the logic in going after Victor. Billy predicts a big win with Phyllis on his side. Daniel mocks their confidence and invites them to lay out their plan. Billy isn't willing to share it right now. At Society, Victor thinks Nick is right about Ian working with someone. They have to be on the lookout for another person or even more. Victor says time is running out. At the ranch, Nikki and Victoria are stunned that Claire didn't call the police. Claire says it's because of what Jordan said to her. She came back for me. Victoria says she can never hurt her again. Nikki agrees. She will never have the chance. Claire says it wasn't just a threat, it was more complicated. Pain, loneliness. She told her how much it meant to see her again. Victoria gasps, "You did what?" Nikki tells Claire that no matter what Jordan said. Victoria interrupts to say she must have committed another crime. Claire wants to tell them everything first. She tells them that the prison confirmed she was still there, and that Jordan implied that someone had taken her place. Nikki holds her head. This is insanity. She asks Claire how she ran into her. Claire says she followed her to the overlook from the coffee shop. Victoria finds this to be such a dangerous choice. Claire says she couldn't lose her. She told Jordan she didn't fit in with the family, and she was the only one who could understand her. Her instincts kicked in, and she told her what she wanted to hear. "I lied." At Crimson Lights, Billy won't be goaded into sharing anything with Daniel. This makes him think Billy doesn't have a plan. Phyllis tells her son, this is a fight they know they can win. It's good for them and for Daniel. This gives him something in his life right now. A platform to show his genius. Daniel says they can have those things without Chancellor and Billy. If she's doing this for him, he doesn't need it. Daniel would consider working with his mother on something new, with no one else involved. Daniel tells Phyllis he dropped the ball on them working together as he was trying to get Lucy through the holiday season, but now is the time. He tells her he can move past video games. Phyllis says the plan is still Abbott Chancellor. Daniel tells Billy he'll need a plan, then he'll have to implement it, and when that fails, take another tack. He can't hang his future on that. If he and Phyllis were to work together, it could be theirs and not a piece of someone else's dream. Just think about it. He has to go to get Lucy and exits. Billy muses, well, Phyllis says her son is Oak. Billy says it's good to know where he stands. It's pretty clear where he stands on Abbott Chancellor. Phyllis will bring him around. Billy needs to know if she's in, with him, or if she's out. At Society, Victor tells Nick he'll do everything in his power to bring Sharon home. If she wasn't found in the water, they're buying time. Nick says there's been no ransom demand. Victor feels they have something in mind, but not murder. Nick's going crazy thinking of her locked up somewhere. Victor says she's the mother of his grandchildren and no one will hurt her. If this is Ian Ward, he'll have hell to pay. Nick gets a message from Chance about a new development and tells him to come over. At the ranch, Claire tells Victoria and Nikki she was able to get to Jordan. She really wanted to believe the things she said about the Newmans. She describes the satisfaction in her eyes that she thought she would side with her and cling to her. It all makes Victoria's skin crawl. Nikki tells Claire she never has to see her again. Claire says she does have to because Jordan will never give up. No prison can hold her and Newman security can't keep her away. There's only one way. Jordan has to be stopped for good. Victoria warns her to slow down. Claire says she stole Victoria's child and Nikki's sobriety. They will never be safe. They will never be free. I can't go through this again. Victoria thinks she's giving her aunt too much credit. Claire says she's back, and they can't make the same mistake twice. She will hurt more people. She will kill again. There is no other way. Jordan will never stop inflicting her evil on this world, so they have to stop it. They have to do it quickly before she kills again. Jordan has to die. At Society, Nick needs to know what Victor's plan is for Ian. Victor says he's coming at him from all sides. He's talked to Michael and Adam. Nick says Michael can go after him with the law, but what can Adam do? Victor says Adam will remind the world who Ian really is with Newman Media. Nick likes that, but he needs to find Sharon as time is running out. Victor vows they'll find her if it's the last thing they do. In the sewer, Sharon struggles and takes a sip of her water. At the ranch, Nikki gets that Claire wants to wipe Jordan off the face of the earth, but she's talking about murder. If she takes her life, she'll think about her more than ever before. She knows from experience. Even in death, Jordan will have won. Claire doesn't believe it, but even if it is, that's her problem. It's a small price to pay to keep them safe. Nikki and Victoria won't lose her and implore that this is not the way. Claire argues that Jordan will kill again if she gets the chance. If someone else dies because she wasn't strong enough to do something. Nikki says it's not her responsibility. Claire thinks it is. She helped her. If she does nothing, she will be her accomplice. They must put an end to her once and for all. At Crimson Lights, Billy tells Phyllis he watched her when Daniel was talking. He could see that she lit up when he mentioned working together. He understands that, but he doesn't think she can trust him when he says teamwork. Phyllis points out she's sitting there with Billy. He thinks she deserves a top spot at Chancellor. He doesn't want her to play nice. If she wants to sit in a corner with Daniel and wait for a payoff, Phyllis tells him to stop talking about her son. Billy hasn't provided any details. We're in the trenches. She expects him to go over things with her. Billy reveals that Daniel's not the first person he's hinted to about the plan. Phyllis throws up her hands. Does he have another partner? Billy tells her the best way to get Victor is to go through his family. The most logical target is Adam. Phyllis asks how that will get him Chancellor back. Billy is going to destroy Victor's black sheep son. Phyllis asks, that's your plan. That's your entire plan. Billy finds beauty in simplicity. Phyllis asks what he'll say about him that hasn't already been said. Billy says it will be a multi-pronged attack. They'll obliterate him until it hurts Newman financially. The reward is in the journey itself, and the payoff will be worth any amount of time spent. Phyllis groans. She's processing. She has no problem with wanting to grind his enemy into the ground. Billy insists the best way to get to Victor is through Adam. Phyllis asks if he wants to get his company back or Chelsea. Billy doesn't appreciate cheaters. This is not a revenge plan. Phyllis thinks it sounds like he wants to get back at Adam because he blew up his relationship. It's a vendetta, not a plan. It's the grandiose vision of a guy who is spinning out again. It's not good, Billy. At Society, Chance tells Victor and Nick that they have something, but no location on Sharon. They obtained footage that Sharon got out of her car on the night in question and was approached from behind. Someone put a cloth over her face, lost consciousness, and was put in the back seat. They have no clear shot of who it was. They're checking routes to the river to hopefully get a clearer shot of the driver. Nick fumes that they have to ID the driver as soon as possible. We find them. We find Sharon. Chance shows Nick and Victor the footage of Sharon being chloroformed. Nick says the person is definitely shorter than Ian. There's something familiar about them. Victor says, you know, to me as well. Nick wonders if it's someone they know. In the sewer, Sharon screams and struggles to reach the black pipe, crying out until she finally manages to kick it with her foot. Before long, she has it in her hand and starts smashing it against the chain, trying to break it. At the ranch, Victoria and Nikki make a pitch to get Victor's advice. Claire says he hasn't shut Jordan down yet. This is the only way. Jordan will kill anyone who stands between her and her revenge. Everyone they know is at risk unless they stop her forever. They'll do to her what she planned to do to them, and they'll use her as the lure. I will not let Jordan hurt anyone else. So we can do this all together, or I will do it on my own, but Jordan will die. Hello, fans of the young and the restless. Sally Spectra has been on quite the journey since arriving in Genoa City, and her life has been anything but dull. From career shifts to romantic drama and devastating heartbreak, the fiery redhead has faced more than her fair share of challenges. But now, as she heads off to Paris, could Sally finally be on the verge of a brighter chapter? Sally's tumultuous path. Sally's life in Genoa City has been a whirlwind. Professionally, she's jumped from one opportunity to the next, all while navigating the cutthroat business world. Personally, her love life has been a roller coaster of highs and heartbreaking lows. The most devastating of these was the loss of her baby with Adam, an experience that marked her lowest point. To make matters worse, Adam's subsequent betrayal with his ex-wife Chelsea left Sally reeling. But in true Sally fashion, she rose from the ashes, stronger and more determined than ever. Now, she's turned her focus to her career at Marchetti and has found a surprising new romance with Billy Abbott. Paris beckons. A fresh start or more drama? Sally's latest career opportunity is taking her to the city of love, Paris. As she prepares to mix business with pleasure, Billy has agreed to put aside his personal struggles and accompany her. But as with everything in Genoa City, nothing is ever that simple. The young and the restless spoilers hint that Billy is about to make a shocking decision before the trip. Could he finally be letting go of his vendetta against Victor Newman and stepping away from Chancellor? With advice from both Sally and his ex Chelsea urging him to leave the feud behind, it seems like a possibility. But one person isn't ready to let him off the hook: Phyllis Summers. Phyllis Summers has other plans. Phyllis, always one for drama, has pledged to stay out of Sharon's legal troubles and is now focusing her energy on teaming up with Billy to reclaim Chancellor from Victor. When she learns of Billy's decision and his plans to head to Paris with Sally, she's likely to confront him, and, knowing Phyllis, she won't go quietly. Could Phyllis follow them to Paris, stirring up trouble in her signature dramatic style? Don't put it past her to don a beret and sunglasses in a bid to derail the romantic getaway. Phyllis has a knack for crashing plans, as anyone in Genoa City can attest. Will Sally make it to Paris alone? Regardless of Billy's decision, one thing seems certain: Sally is heading to Paris. Whether Billy joins her or Phyllis manages to interfere remains to be seen. But Sally Spectra has proven time and again that she can handle whatever comes her way. At Society, Adam orders a scotch just as Sally walks in. He waves her over and she joins him after pausing. He notes she had to think about whether she'd stay. He wonders if she'd have walked away if he hadn't seen her. She says they'll never know. Adam thinks they already do. He asks if she'll ever see him and not feel she has to turn away. Sally honestly doesn't know. It's complicated, and there's no way to predict if it will always feel that way. They'll have to wait and see. Adam tells Sally it's not her job to fix the situation he caused. He asks if he should leave. Sally says it's not like that. Adam grumbles about screwing up. Sally says what happened between him and Chelsea wasn't a complete mistake or a drunken accident. There's history there and a lot of love. Adam says they had history and love, and a child he thinks about every day. Sally tells him Ava will always be in their hearts, but they are done. He and Chelsea will give their relationship another chance. Adam says they did that over and over, but it never worked. He complains about her pushing him toward Chelsea, and says he wanted it to work with Sally. She wonders if he's asking if she wishes things were different. Sally tells Adam that he and Chelsea should be together for Connor's sake. Why are you fighting the one thing that can make you all happy? Adam says he has accepted that things are over between him and Sally. No one should hold her back. She deserves whatever she wants. Sally says she's getting there. Adam agrees that he, Connor, and Chelsea should be a family. The focus is Connor, and they're trying to support him. There is probably something that you should hear from me. He tells her he's asked Chelsea to move into the ranch house with him and Connor. He asks about her and Billy, but she isn't up for discussing it with him. Adam asks about work. She says it's wonderful and busy. Billy and I are both driven and focused. She has her passions and obsessions, and he has his. Adam asks what obsession Billy has now. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea runs into Billy and thanks him for texting with Connor. Billy says he's his buddy. She asks how he's been since she saw him earlier. Billy thought about her advice to let go of the Victor and Chancellor thing. It's good advice. She's so glad. Billy clarifies that it's probably the right thing to do, but unfortunately, he can't follow it. He's unable to walk away from Catherine's company and the satisfaction of watching Victor's face when he knows he's lost. Billy won't stop until he's won. I have it handled. Chelsea admires his confidence. Billy senses she has a lot on her plate. Chelsea says it's a long story. He sees she doesn't want to tell him. Okay, now you have to tell me. Chelsea tells Billy it's not a good topic for them, so he guesses it's about Adam. She says he's moving to the old ranch house, so Connor will be spending half his time there as well. They've asked her to move in. Billy makes a face and she says, I knew it. Billy asks how Connor feels about it. She says he wants her there and she can understand that. Chelsea feels weird talking to him about this. Billy admits it makes sense for Connor to have his parents under the same roof. She hasn't said yes yet, but she plans to. Billy appreciates not having to find out from Adam with his smug smile. He asks her to be careful. Adam will manipulate her before she unpacks her bags. He's going to milk this. He'll slip an engagement ring on her finger while she's sleeping and send out invitations. Chelsea insists she and Adam are done, but Connor needs continuity, and she'll do anything for him. Billy assures her he's a strong boy and will handle this just fine. What about you? Chelsea will be fine. Billy nods, yeah, you will. He admits he sometimes thinks what happened in Baltimore was what she really wanted, to be with Adam in that way. Maybe you just haven't seen that yet. At the park, Claire gawps at Jordan, who tells her that her instincts are still sharp. I taught you so well. Claire says she called the prison, and they assured her nothing had changed. Jordan smirks that just shows you what they don't know. You wouldn't come to me, so I came to you. Surprise. Claire asks, how are you here? Jordan says no prison can hold her. Someone else is getting her 3 hots in a cot. Claire muses that it's been so long since they've seen each other. Jordan says she's been keeping her eye on her. Claire muses that Jordan is smart and sees right through people. She knows exactly what to say and do to get what she wants. Jordan makes a crack about her grandparents and Claire turns wistful. Jordan asks if there is trouble in paradise. Claire tells her she's lost there. Sometimes she's in a room with the Newmans, and it's like she is watching herself from a distance. Aunt Jordan, they do such horrible things. Jordan croons, honey, I told you who they were. Claire says she didn't listen, and now she's more alone than ever. Jordan tells her she doesn't look lost. She has a new family, a new life, new clothes. It's like their life together never existed. Claire says she's playing along because she has no other choice. Jordan asks why she needs these people. Claire reminds her she taught her to exploit people to get by. It's not easy, especially not now with her there. She mocks Nikki and Victor for getting sick of one of their mansions and building another one. Jordan asks if she remembers the vicious things she said to her at the prison. Claire had just found out that the parents she thought had abandoned her were patient and kind. It's not that simple, though. They treat everyone and everything like they don't matter. I've seen who they really are. Maybe you were protecting me all along. Jordan sighs. I have waited weeks, days, months to hear these words. She walked the prison yards wondering if Claire understood and knew. She kept hoping that she was feeling remorse and wanting vengeance in their life back together. Jordan realized that she never once called her, wrote her, or visited her. Did you? She would still be in that cell if not for a little gumption and ingenuity. She asks, have you really seen the light? Claire complains about the Newman's tests of loyalty. If you're not in the inner circle, they'll burn you to the ground. Jordan asks if she'll run off and put out an APB on her. Claire won't let them hunt her. Who knows what Victor would do? He's a sick bastard. You're the only person I ever should have trusted. Claire tells Jordan, you can trust me too. Claire assures Jordan she's not trying to trap her. Why would she come there alone? Jordan thinks maybe she wanted to make sure it was her before she sounded the alarm. Claire says, or when I saw you, I realized I'd been waiting for this. She asks what Jordan meant when she said she came back for her. Jordan says she may have come back for her child, for a second chance. Claire thinks she may have come to make her pay for abandoning her. Which one is it? Jordan says it's up to her. At Society, Adam guesses that Billy's passion is Chancellor and asks Sally if he's planning to go after Victor or maybe him and Newman Media. Sally tells Adam he thinks about Billy more than he does about him. She hints that her boyfriend is miserable, so Adam assumes he's planning to go for the jugular. Sally tells Adam she doesn't want to be in the same room with him when he's like this. He causes so much damage and then gets annoyed at the fallout. Adam wants her to tell him more about this fallout. At Crimson Lights, Chelsea asks Billy how he's so kind and understanding after what happened. Billy's not up for sainthood. He tells her he wouldn't take back any of their time together, but it ended and there's no going back. Chelsea will never forgive herself. She wipes a tear as he assures her that they'll be oak. She thanks him for listening and for being him. Billy says, "Don't let him tell you what you think. Be careful." In the park, Claire tells Jordan she can't trust the Newmans. Jordan snarks that there's always the Abbotts. Claire says Kyle's the only person she can be herself with. He knows the Newmans aren't perfect. Jordan thinks that sounds like love. Claire says they're not there yet, and she doesn't even know if that's possible. She was the nanny. Is she even worthy of being with an Abbott? Jordan gasps, "Good God." She reminds Claire that Cole crossed the pond to be her girl dad. "So, tell me how you don't fit in with Victoria and Cole." Sally arrives at the coffee house to meet Billy after Chelsea's gone. They kiss and embrace. He asks if she's oak. She says, "Sure," but admits she ran into Adam. Billy guesses he was his usual charming self. Sally sighs. It's just awkward. She reveals he started asking questions about them. Sally admits she dropped her guard for 1 second, and he started speculating about Billy's plans. Billy's not surprised. Sally says Adam thinks Billy is going after him and Victor. Billy snarks. All roads lead to Adam. Sally's sure her ex will try and confront Billy now, and she's sorry about that. Sally hopes Billy's not upset with her. He's not. If Adam thinks he's coming after him, then so be it. He won't lie to her, and she doesn't have to second-guess what he says. Sally says it helps to hear that. Billy thinks he should let Adam sweat. Sally knows Billy won't back down. She thinks it's better if she doesn't know his plan. Billy will only say the only way to get to the big man is through his family. Chelsea meets Adam at Society, and they talk about Connor spending time with Johnny and Katie to ease him into living on the ranch. It makes her heart happy. Adam says the change in location makes sense for a lot of reasons. He fishes for her answer. Chelsea says, the answer is yes. Connor will have both his mom and dad at his new home. Adam grins. She reminds him this is for Connor and warns him not to try and work an angle. Adam insists she doesn't have ulterior motives. Chelsea says, I mean it. Adam tells her this really is great though. In the park, Jordan thinks Claire is Victoria and Cole's angel. Claire says she's not really. She's not innocent or a child. She has memories they were never part of. She sees Victoria with Katie and Johnny, and she knows them, and they know her. She'll never have that with anyone but Jordan. Her aunt has tears running down her cheeks as Claire tells her that Victoria constantly tells her she's a Newman, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't think I can pretend anymore. Claire tears up, and Jordan takes her in her arms and blubbers. Over her shoulder, Claire looks freaked out. Brace yourselves, the young and the restless fans. Genoa City is about to be shaken to its core with a jaw-dropping revelation that no one saw coming. Nick Newman stumbles upon a moment that could change everything. Jordan and Claire locked in a suspiciously emotional hug. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What follows is a DNA shocker that will leave viewers gasping. Let's dive into the explosive details. Nick's shocking discovery. While making his rounds at Crimson Lights, Nick spots Jordan and Claire in a secluded corner. Their embrace is more than friendly. It's secretive, tense, and packed with unspoken words. Nick's instincts kick in immediately. What could Claire and Jordan be hiding? His suspicions grow as he recalls Claire's recent cryptic behavior and Jordan's sudden reappearance in town. A web of lies unravels. Determined to uncover the truth, Nick starts digging. It doesn't take long for him to stumble upon a buried secret that threatens to destroy lives. DNA results linked to Claire reveal a shocking twist. Her true parentage is not what anyone believed. Who is Claire's real parent, and why has this been hidden for so long? The fallout begins. As Nick confronts Claire about her secret meeting with Jordan, emotions run high. Claire's world begins to crumble as she's forced to confess the truth. The DNA results expose a tangled web of deception involving not just Claire but several key players in Genoa City. Family loyalties are tested, and deep-seated rivalries resurface as the bombshell spreads. Victor's next move. You can bet Victor Newman won't stay on the sidelines for long. With his family's reputation on the line, Victor steps in, determined to control the narrative and protect the Newmans from scandal. But will his efforts to clean up the mess only make things worse? And how will Nick's discovery impact his already fragile relationship with his father? Romantic and business alliances shaken. The DNA revelation doesn't just affect family dynamics. It also has ripple effects on romantic relationships and business alliances. Will Sharon stand by Nick as he grapples with this discovery, or will this strain push them apart? And how will this scandal impact Newman Enterprises and its ongoing rivalries with Jebud and Chancellor Winters? Fans speculate wildly. Social media is ablaze with fan theories. Is Claire connected to a long-lost character? Could this twist bring back a familiar face or introduce a new one? Many are buzzing about potential ties to iconic troublemaker Sheila Carter, whose name alone spells chaos. Whatever the truth, fans are bracing for one of the most unforgettable twists in the Young and the Restless history. What happens next? As Genoa City braces for the fallout, one thing is clear: this DNA bombshell is just the beginning. The revelation will set off a chain reaction, forcing characters to make impossible choices and confront their darkest secrets. Who will rise from the ashes, and who will fall apart? Don't miss a single moment of the action as the drama unfolds on The Young and the Restless. With secrets, betrayals, and shocking revelations, this week's episodes promise to be the most unforgettable yet. Stay tuned, because in Genoa City, the truth always comes at a price.